Hello and welcome to the Social Ad School. I am your host, Tim Daniel, and today we'll be joined by our top copywriter and social ad instructor, Tom Hamaker. He's going to talk about Facebook ad copy on images and videos. We're going to cover why it's important to put text in your images, what makes the best types of headlines on images, and how to build curiosity and/or benefits-based copy into your ad. We will also cover how to build a cohesive and strategic ad with your image. And before we get started, please make sure to like this video, comment, or subscribe. We are new to YouTube, but we're committed to bringing value-driven content in the social media ad space. Now with that, here's our copywriter, instructor extraordinaire, Tom Hamaker, to drop some wisdom on us today. Tom, welcome to the show.
Hey Tim, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Extraordinaire. Yeah, that's a good term.
I got to butter you up a little bit, you know?
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I want to talk about the copy on the image and on the video before it actually plays. I think they're like really cool and like really fun opportunities for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I actually see like a lot of big companies actually get this right for some reason because it is kind of fun, and a lot of copywriters who work for the bigger companies like that fun aspect to it. So this is kind of a cool little topic to talk about today.
Cool. So where do we get started?
Cool. So you can see, so this is just an image ad. You don't have to use video. You can if you want. So what he's doing with the image, obviously, is he's going to use it to try to stop the scroll. And so a cool thing, tactic that he uses here is he uses a hook, especially, in that first line. I was going to say the one on the left, but even this one right here.
Okay.
But so build a cash flow asset from scratch, right? That doesn't seem like it's contrarian, isn't it? Like it just captures your attention. And then he gives himself, he gives like a little blurb from himself. But it's that first build a cash flow asset from scratch. That's the kind of copy that is so important in image ad, because that's what's going to stop the scroll, right? Unless your image is like really cool or something. So like this image isn't cool. Like there's nothing cool about this.
Mm-hmm.
But build a cash flow asset from scratch, like that gets me hooked. Like, whoa, is that even possible? Like I stopped scrolling. It did its job. Like that's all it had to do. And then he complements it. This would with his quote, and that kind of gets me to buy into it. Right. So that's kind of cool how he did that. And then if you go to the one on the right, it's kind of another hook too, but it's not as it's not that the other one was negative, but it's, I guess, not as political. There's no like government talk or anything. But it's still a hook, right? It's still, if you have an asset, you can build cash flow out of it. How do I do that? Boom, stop the scroll. And then he uses the copy to overcome objections. Once again, the image itself isn't like cool or anything. It doesn't like I don't see Robert Kiyosaki and think like, I want to stop scrolling. You know what I mean? But when I see build cash flow with an asset you already have, like that's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. And just the word cash flow, those two words are very highly charged. If somebody, even on a subliminal, subconscious level, people who are in this cash flow game, they're kind of wired to want to build more cash flow, because once you start getting cash flow and you feel the power of it, if you can find out ways to build more of it, you're gonna go for it. So I'm sure Robert Kiyosaki kind of knows, or his copywriter knows that that's a trigger for folks in his niche.
yeah, 99% positive that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's just going to amplify the copy. It's just going
Yeah.
to make it more of a hook.
Yeah. And
And that's really what I'm doing.
if you can put triggers in your top line, that's when you do the market research, when you understand who your client is, your avatar, and you know what's gonna what they're subconsciously cued in on. Because again, when you're scrolling through Facebook, it's so fast. But just imagine you're an investor or you're somebody who's got all these multiple streams of cash flow and you love it, and that's like how you're building your wealth. And you're scrolling and scrolling, you see a puppy dogs, cats, stupid videos, political conversations, yada, 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 cash flow, what? You know, they stop right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, those trigger
Yeah.
words are huge.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really just honestly about, finding the trigger words and writing this. This is going to play off the last episode we did. Just about, writing 5 to 10 of these different hooks, right? What might hook you might not hook the reader. So write
Yep.
5 to 10. See, these are two pretty similar headlines, but they're different. So they don't have to be completely different, but as you see here, one is built asset from scratch and another is an asset you already have. Right?
Got it.
They're
Yep.
technically two different. I'm sure they're getting different response rates.
Yeah.
But they're both hooks, right? So just kind of a cool thing. Then we have a second example too. And this ad, or these ads actually hook me all the time.
Cool. Let's see.
They're really cool.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, so it's for this water filter. And I live in Philadelphia where the water is not great. And this installs under your sink instead of using a Brita. And so I'm scrolling through and I see custom water filter installs in 15 minutes. And it's like you install it under your sink. I'm like, whoa, that looks cool. Boom.
Yeah.
I stop scrolling. Watch the video. Its only job is to get you to stop scrolling. Right? So just some sort of hook. I can install a water filter in 15 minutes. I had no idea. How do I do that? I want to learn more. Right? There's an implied benefit to this, right? And it has a built-in curiosity because it makes me want to either read the copy or watch the video. So that's really what this copy is doing. This copy isn't necessarily closing the sale, right? That's kind of, it's not really getting people over the edge, but it's getting them like super involved into the ad.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's what a good headline on the image or video does.
Yeah, I noticed that they do this. A lot of people are doing with the video ads in particular. They have the text on the top and the bottom. What about the text?
Yeah.
We got this stuff on the top, which is really awesome, and anyone can do it. Is there a formula or some kind of a technique that's going on here that we can kind of break apart? Like, what are they doing with those two zones of text on the video ad?
Yeah, the anyone can do it is just overcoming the objection. Now, obviously, I'm not going to believe it, right? So they're going to say custom water filter installs in 15 minutes and anyone can do it. And I'm going to think, yeah, right. Let me watch this video.
Yeah, watch the video, click it.
Let me find out. And anyone can do it. BS. Boom. And that's actually what happened to me. Like, oh, I wasn't like, oh, and anyone can do it? Oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, right. Anyone can do it. And then I watched the video and I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that. Like, cool. I want this.
So these guys are doing benefits and curiosity simultaneously, like a 1-2 punch.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. Right. And so Kiyosaki was more just like curiosity, kick him in the teeth. Hooky, this is, benefit and curiosity kind of together, but it still works as a hook, right?
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of text on these. I mean, it almost seems like it could be out of a magazine. Do you think it's the amount of text doesn't mean anything. That's not going to cause somebody to scroll away because it's just too hard on your brain to process too many words, or is it just the
No.
way it's structured and built that it and it's so well crafted that if you have the fact that it does have more words, it doesn't matter? Like,
Yeah,
what's the
it's
balance
because
between text and having it be sparse and having it be full? What's the balance?
well, for one, it has to be readable, but the balance is if honestly, if it flows correctly, um, if you get hooked by building a cash flow asset from scratch, you immediately want to know more, like instantly, faster than the blink of an eye. You want to learn more. And when he says, don't rely on a job or the government, what he's doing there is his audience probably says those exact words or
Yeah.
thinks that. So he's aligning his beliefs with their beliefs. So they're
Okay.
getting even hooked in even more. And when you go over to the other ad on the right, what he's doing is he's overcoming objections.
Hmm.
So he's using the real estate pretty much to further the sale. Really, it's really not about how many words are on the image, or it's just are the words furthering the sale? Like maybe he doesn't have to use these objections in the body copy. Maybe he does, but if you capture someone's attention, they want to know more immediately. So whether they scroll up to the body copy, watch the video, scroll down to the headline, whatever you can do to get them information ASAP that's going to connect with them. Um, so these writers just found a really easy, creative way to connect with their audience immediately after the hook. And that's honestly probably why these ads are performing really well.
Yeah, and these copywriters, they're masters. They they really know Kiyosaki's
Yeah, these guys are no joke.
his audience. They know their heart and soul, what they're looking for, what they
Yeah, oh
need.
yeah,
Because yeah, obviously they don't want it to be tough. They don't want to have to create a product that takes too much time and energy. Screw that. Expensive real estate. I don't want to do something super risky, And then again, in the risky
yeah,
stop option. So yeah, they know their clientele really well.
exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else on these ads?
No, no. I just want to, emphasize that, this is where you can kind of uh, get creative with your hooks. A lot of copywriters, want to unleash their creativity. Honestly, this is a great spot to test out creative new hooks. You could write 10 to 15 of these, really have a lot of fun with it. Um, because this copy really only has one job, and that's to stop the scroll. So, however, you can do that, a lot of times, it's not the most logical
Mm-hmm.
statements that get people to stop the scroll. So, you can have a lot of fun with this. Um, yeah, so write 10 to 15 of these. Um, don't limit yourself to just benefit, just curiosity.
Mm.
Have fun with it. Um, and
And do your
that's really
research.
it.
Do your
Do your
customer
research.
research. Yeah, because that's where your copy comes from. What their fears are, what their desires are, what their problems are. You cannot deny that. You can't bypass that thinking that, oh, I know what they're like. No, you got to hear straight from their mouths. So we did a whole episode on that, the market research. Definitely recommend
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys check that out. We go into super depth on how to do that, but yeah, none of this stuff even works unless you do that first.
Yeah. And if you want to, really just get practical experience, just go on your Facebook feed yourself and scroll and see what honestly hooks you. Like, don't be like, oh, this ad. Don't like go on Facebook to analyze ads. Go on Facebook and just scroll and see if an ad hooks you.
Hmm.
And if it does, make note of that, right? I'm sure there's a way you could manipulate that headline for your business. Don't steal it, but you can swipe it and get ideas from it. So, um, yeah, use Facebook. Your own Facebook feed is your own teacher. To be honest, I do it all the time.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, it's just like, I do video production and filmmaking, and the best way that I can study is actually watch other commercials, other videos, study filmmaking, just watch a film, an old classic film. You get, like Alfred Hitchcock especially has amazing camera moves, and, you can just study from the masters. And, on these social media platforms, you get to witness copywriting masters in their element.
Yeah.
Producing massive results for their clients. So, and we're trying to help everybody out here in the audience to do the same. Copywriting is like a skill. And it can be a gift to your clients that you're trying to help them get successful. If any of this stuff is important to you or you're finding value, please again like this video, comment, share, and also subscribe. Is there anything else that you're wanting to talk about, Tom?
No, that's all I have today.
I think we did it. All right, and we'll see everybody on the next episode. Thanks a lot for joining us.